Ladies and gentlemen, Nelly Furtado is here. Thrilled to have you with us.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Nice to see you all.
Great to
this
see
morning.
you. Gorgeous dress, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
That. Got a little bit of a retro vibe going on.
Yeah. It's a
So
vintage dress.
cute. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So you made a big announcement last night on ET Canada. You're going to be part of the show on
Yes, I'm
New
playing New Year's Eve.
And you were watching last year?
I was.
That's fabulous.
I was watching.
It's a big party,
It's a
isn't
big
it?
party, big show. It's at Niagara Falls, and I'm pumped. I actually haven't done this show before, so I'm really happy. Happy about the other artists performing. There's Headley and Dragonette, and I don't know, just I'm a fan too, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Doesn't scare you, the cold performing outside?
Oh yes, definitely
Yeah.
frightens me because you're going to be. It's that first sort of minute because that's how you gauge, like as a vocalist, how cold it is.
Right.
So you get out there and it just attacks you. But then after you get warm again and then you're fine. So.
How do you work with that though? Because does it affect your voice? And I know.
Yeah, it does. I've played some very, very chilly shows, and you get out there and again, and it's that first couple minutes, it's like whoa, and then you warm up, and then you're fine. But
Oh, like a big scarf, or like a
I'll
before, right?
I've started shopping for my New Year's coat. Yes, essential. You don't want to be like 5 minutes before the show. By the way, I didn't bring a coat. That's not the night for that. Definitely not the night for that.
We were just talking about the Rihanna tour and that they're going from place to place doing those 7.
That's difficult.
That's
That's
intense,
challenging.
and that the journalists are like, "Let me off. I've had enough.
I
Get me
like
outta
it
here."
because then you see the other side. And, it's
Yeah.
glamorous from the outside, but the reality of day-to-day touring is quite grueling, and you have to kind of live like a monk to kind of get through it. I mean, I'm starting my Spirit Indestructible tour across Canada. It kicks off in Victoria, my hometown, on January the 8th, and I'm really excited. But at the same time, it's quite a disciplined,
It's
sort
a
of
marathon.
regime.
It's like a.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, because you think about it, you're singing for 2 hours a night, and people have paid their good money to come see you play, and you can't cancel, you can't get sick. That's it. Show must go on. That's what showbiz is. So.
So how do you protect yourself? What do you do to make sure that you're still
Well,
up there?
I stay away from alcohol and sort of like I sleep. You got to sleep a full night's sleep for your voice to work properly. Lots of water, all the regular, boring health regime stuff.
I hear Celine Dion doesn't
Discipline,
speak
discipline.
at all on the day of a performance.
Well,
and
have you
things like
seen her
that.
show in Vegas? That's a lot of singing.
Right.
And her, her repertoire is so broad. So she does. I can see why she can't really talk that much during the day. It's similar with opera singers. I mean, I did a show with some great opera singers at the opera company about a month ago, and they were telling me too that sometimes they need 4 days off between an opera because they're singing for 5 hours. So it all depends on your show. Mine, I do have a lot of material as well. It ranges from the more ballads to hip hop where I'm rapping. So I have to save my voice as well.
Right. And how do you manage it as a parent?
Well, we've traveled a lot. I mean, I've kind of created a schedule where it's balanced and I can kind of make my own hours. And now, gearing up for this tour, I'm actually kind of excited because it's been a while since I've toured Canada. It's been about 6 years, actually, because I didn't tour my Spanish album in Canada. So I'm really excited and how it's going to go down.
Well, for the Spirit Indestructible, your new album, you're going to do the New Year's Eve show, and I always wonder how much of it is you, the artist, saying, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to perform here this day, and then 4 days later, I'm going to start, the Canadian tour. How much is it?
It really depends what you're doing. I mean, last week I was at the Latin Grammy Awards. I was presenting an award, and there were a lot of events leading up to it. Then, flying back here, I had a fundraiser show, and then here I am with you today. So it really depends. But when you're on tour, you're basically focused on the show. You might visit some radio or do some meet and greets with the fans. Those are your main duties when you're touring. But the way I plan my schedule is, for me, it's a bit of a challenge because I have the blessing of having my music heard around the world. So there's a lot of different places to visit. I'll be in Switzerland next week, for instance.
Nice.
So it's kind of random, but you have to choose your favorites, I guess. I haven't been able to kind of go as far as often as I've wanted to. Like maybe Australia, I mean, I haven't toured there that often because, I have fans there, but I mean, it's quite far and it depends how long you want to be in Australia.
Yeah.
Again,
beautiful as
especially
it
as a
is.
parent, it's like it's hard to, you know.
Well, yeah, you have to
these-
you have to
you have a
kind of
daughter?
work it all out. Yeah, she's 9.
9.
Yeah.
So she's in school, so you've got to work around that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it's like any job, like where you have to kind of work out your hours around your life and make the two things work harmoniously as best you can.
You know, your body of work, sorry, your body of work is just, it's huge. But I think about when you started, and now here you are in your latest album. Do you think about that pressure of, doubling what you did when you first came out, I'm Like a Bird? Is that pressure constantly on you and always thinking about
luckily
sales?
for me, I grew up like in a very musical environment. I grew up playing instruments, and it was always about the music first. So for me, it's always been about the writing, about my journey as a songwriter, my journey as a creative person, a producer. I mean, I have my own label, Nell Star. We have an act called Dylan Murray. He's opening on my tour, as well as Jessica Tyler of Degrassi fame. So I'm always into the artist development side of things. So for me, it's not all about the sales. It's not all about my projects. Also, the language thing is really helpful for me because when you go off and do other records, like in Spanish or Portuguese, I mean, I just did a Portuguese record with Andrea Bocelli, and those things are soul satisfying. So at the end of the day, it's really about that pursuing that artistic satisfaction.
And how do you feel about that first big hit, I'm Like a Bird? Do you like singing it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird. I know I'm supposed to hate it. A lot of people hate their big hits. I mean, but I'm sure even if you ask Psy, he's still gonna love Gangnam Style 10 years from now.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And I'm like a bird because I can play it acoustically or with piano or whatever it is, and it's funny. Like the audience sings along because it's a lot of people have heard it. At the grocery store, on an elevator.
The minute you walked in here, it started going through my head. I swear. And I thought, well, that's going to be there for the rest of the day. But it's such a
Yeah.
lovely tune. It's just
Thanks.
beautiful.
Well, that's what you have to realize as an artist. It's like people like your hit songs, and on my tour, I'm going to play my hit songs. Sure, I'm going to play material also from all the albums and my new album, but it's also about pleasing people. You're an entertainer, and they want to hear the stuff they love.
Nelly Furtado, so great to have you here. So a few things to list off. Spirit Indestructible is in stores now. Then you can see Nelly performing at our New Year's Eve bash in Niagara Falls with ET Canada, which is just great. Welcome aboard for
Thank
that.
you.
And then you start your Canadian tour, you said in January.
Yeah, January 8th kicks off in Victoria, so
All right, well,
look forward to seeing you on tour.
We have a pair of tickets to her Toronto concert, so go to morningshow.ca for your chance to win. Nelly Furtado, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks a lot.
8:20.